Have you ever had Talisker Storm Scotch? I've never had it, but I really want to try this whiskey. Mike bought it the other day at a random store. We won't disclose the location. So let's really get into this whiskey and see what all the rage is about.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Everyday Whiskey. I'm Mike.
And I'm Dan.
And today we got a little special bottle for you. This is the Talisker Storm. I've been personally hunting down this bottle for, I think, almost like 2 to 3 years.
I think it's definitely around too. Like it's definitely, it's not like it's definitely like a more sought after Scotch. It might be slightly hard to find, but you definitely could find them.
Oh, you could find. Well, you could find it regularly. I've just personally been.
I think you finally just pulled
trying to come to terms with picking this bottle up because you do find it on the shelf anywhere between $70, $80 on sale, sometimes $60 or so.
We won't say what you bought it for.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say what I bought it for. All you need to know is I walked into a store and I saw this price and I didn't even hesitate. I snatched it because like I said, I've been after this for so long that I'm finally got a bottle and I'm excited to try this and have this.
I would have 100% bought it too. So
yeah, because you know the price.
And so I don't know. I feel like every freaking paycheck I spend like $100 on freaking whiskey, but you know that happens. That's my habit. But
so anyway, this has just been a personal hidden gem of mine, or I don't know if you'd call it a hidden gem.
You've talked about this for freaking years.
I've talked about it for
I don't know why you've never bought one. You bought Lagavulin 16 before you bought Talisker.
Yeah, I know. I'd go figure.
That's like buying an R8 before you're buying a Golf. For car people, you get the reference. That's like that's like buying a mansion for your first house. Like
I don't know. For some reason I couldn't part with the money. I don't know. The 70. I think a large part of it was just due to the unknown. I still wasn't that big into Scotch. And that's when Kyle bought the Lagavulin. I tried the Lagavulin.
Because his brother drinks it.
Yeah. Right? Decided I absolutely love the Lagavulin. So that's kind of how I got into purchasing something more expensive first. And then, it is kind of a one-of-a-kind bottle, so I still remained hesitant on picking up other Scotches. And then finally I walked in, I saw the price, and after having many more Scotches over those past 2 years and really developing my palate, I pulled the trigger. I had to get it.
I wholeheartedly support your decision, Mike.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Impulse Whiskey Buying Club.
Yes, it happens, and it's
great.
Right.
But, so, Talisker is from the island regions of Scotland, which is technically, if you want to really get technical, it's just a subdivision of the Highlands region of Scotland. But the whole cool thing about islands is that they have such a wide variance of flavors that you can't really call it Highland because it doesn't. In Highland, such a wide variety of flavors. Highland can go from super briny and super malty and super wood forward up in the northern regions because of the ocean, basically because of the ocean, or I don't know how to exactly say this. It's exposure to the ocean. That's what I'm looking for. I can't talk because I lost a lot of blood because I cut my finger open on the stupid fucking tripod. Fuck you, tripod. Still hurts. I'm a little lightheaded, but. Alright, that's what I'm about to say. And then if you go further south, you get some more lunchtime scotches, and you get some of those more nutty and sweet and citrusy kind of nuances, Glenlivet and stuff like that. But these are from the islands regions, which they can have anything that's super light, tropical, and citrusy, which we have something down here, which I'll break down a little bit as a comparison to another island scotch, because they're totally opposites. And then you have stuff like Talisker, which is very briny. It's very briny and salt forward and very and it's a very big, smoky whiskey.
This is like a Lagavulin for beginners, basically. I know you haven't had it yet.
No, I haven't. I'm trying this for the first time.
I had to crack it as soon as I bought it, obviously.
Well, I don't blame you. I drink everything I have immediately as I get it. I don't
One rule of thumb, every time I pick up a bottle, the first thing I do that night is have a glass out of it. I can't pick one up and then not have it. It's not possible. I have very bad willpower with that. It's just
I can't control myself.
No, I can't. I
can't control myself.
So I actually have my notes out for this one because
there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information, and we're not whiskey encyclopedias. So you see us glancing at notes, it's just because we want to get the facts accurate, and we want we don't want to hear anything in the comments of saying well, you mispronounced this guy's name and this guy's name, and this was this year and that was this year. Not we don't mind the comments, but that's a little petty.
Yeah. I'd rather look. Just at least have the notes. It's not a big deal to me.
But the island region is cool just because you can. It's like the melting pot of Scotch. You can get everything from beginner Scotch where it's very light and approachable, or you can get stuff to a more educated palate where it's big, smoky, and you have to really dig for some of those subtle nuances of flavors. It's cool because there are only 7 distilleries in the island regions. The big ones are going to be Highland Park, Talisker, and Jura. Jura is one of my favorites. We don't have a bottle.
Jura's really good.
Yeah, we don't have a bottle. If anybody can locate a bottle for us and send it to us or whatever, we can give you an address to send it to. I'd love to have like a Jura 10-year, 12-year. You know, we're going to send you one of the high-end bottles. I don't really care. I'm not picky.
But it doesn't have to be a full bottle. It can be a sample.
It can be a sample bottle. I like sample bottles.
You to buy us stuff. Just
some of the stuff we use here are sample bottles.
If you want us to review it, we'll review it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Anything you guys want us to review, leave a comment. Let us know what you want to review, and we'll review it. You know, even if it's Screwball peanut butter whiskey, which I feel like we're gonna have to do at some point. But yeah, let's just get into this thing, man. You pour it. It's your bottle. You open it. You pour it because I don't want to break it.
Yeah, it's pretty durable.
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to try it straight up. Mike's already had it straight up, and then we're going to add some water, because obviously when you add water to whiskey, it's like adding air to beer. You're going to bring out some of those subtle flavors that you wouldn't have had before.
Very pretty bottle.
This is a really nice looking bottle.
This is like a nice, just solid classic bottle.
They do a good job with the packaging, that's for damn sure. Yeah, I'm like super stoked right now, man.
Okay. I'll start talking about it, but it's only proper if we get some poured first. Now, of course, the notes that I do have.
Freaking Christ! Oh, you're gonna add water, so you're gonna add water.
Yeah, and we're only having one today. We're featuring, so.
Yeah, so we could probably go a little heavier.
Only one on camera, that is. So the notes that I have, I just picked a few key aspects.
That literally smells like a freaking
ocean.
It smells like an ocean.
Yeah, I know. The reason why I only picked a few notes out is just because there's a lot you go into between Talisker and then their Storm bottle. Oh crap!
It's actually pretty light though. Like
it is light.
It's basically just like a golden. It's just like a light gold.
It is light, but the smell of that brine.
Dude, it smells. You
literally
smells
smell like
the salt.
sea. So let's get into a little history on it while Dan enjoys it. So it's distilled, as you know, on the Isle of Skye in the island region.
Fuck yeah,
as far as the Isle of Skye goes, this is the only distillery on the island, is Talisker, so that's really cool. And it's distilled on the bank of Loch Harport. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's not spelt chaotically.
There's no one here that's going to correct you if you're not saying it correctly. I don't know.
Fully confident in my pronunciation there. So, this is what you would categorize as a young single malt. And what's the aging? I'll explain what a young single malt is. So if you type in young single malt on Google, this is not going to be the first result to pop up.
It definitely tastes young. It's got a good amount of heat in the back end, but it's like a good heat though.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. So yeah, this is going to be the first thing that pops up. There is another one which I forget because it's something we weren't doing. But basically, a young single malt is the reason it is called a young single malt is because technically it's not quite old enough to be called a whiskey, but it is because of this. So this bottle is actually, I know, it's like, that's why I have the notes,
curious.
This is really interesting.
But while this is out, I'm gonna put this in.
So first off, the reason the price jumps on this has to do with the fact that it is a young single malt. So these next points are gonna I'm gonna kind of tie them into each other. So it costs more because it is a selection of both younger 3-year, anywhere between younger 3-year and all the way up to older 25-year casks. So
that's what's in this. So it's like 3 year to 25 years.
Yes, and because of that, it is an NAS whiskey, which an NAS is a no age statement.
Okay.
Which is
what like Buffalo Trace is. Like Buffalo Trace bourbon is an NAS. They say like it's 7 to 9 years age, but they don't have to say what it is because it's a blend of all different stuff.
So, now, no age statement whiskeys are a interesting little. They're an interesting derivative of bourbons, I should say. They're kind of popular, but not really. A lot of people look for those ages. You know, an age statement kind of brings along a reputation with, you know, this is a 25-year aged, and that just holds a much higher
good whiskey's good
level
whiskey.
of,
who cares?
level of distinction, whatever you want to call it. So what else could we go in on this? It was released early 2013, so it's not that old of a product. It's fairly recent. 7 years, I guess. Yeah, it's still recent. You know, wow, I can't believe 2013 is
7 years old. That's how old my car is.
A lot of the notes are in. It's warm, smoky, peppery. but there is a brine in there, and that slight salt brine is incredible.
Well,
it really rounds out the flavor.
It's not so much, like I said, I get the brine on the nose, and on the flavor, it's kind of more like, you definitely get a little more of that, like, American oak, like, ex-bourbon cask, so you really taste the oak just because of how young some of these blends are in here. So they're not, like you said, it hasn't developed into that big, full-bodied, like, wood flavor, like that oak and smoke you like so much.
No, it has not.
So this gets really smoky. Add water, it gets really smoky on the nose. The brine is still there, but it kind of goes into the background, and smoke completely takes it over, right?
I like the water in it, surprisingly, because I absolutely hate water in my whiskey, and I almost reamed you out for adding water to my whiskey.
Well, we have to do it for this. What do you do on your personal times, whatever?
This really, although
it mild out the burn. There's not as much of that.
It smells even more like the sea now.
Yeah, it's not. There's not as much of that kick in the chest on the back end. So it might have. It kind of probably made this a little more mild. Like, what's the proof on this?
It is 91.6.
All right, so we probably just proofed it down to probably
45.8%.
We probably just proofed it down to about 80, which is probably why this becomes a little more sessionable and a little more.
Yeah. So it is a heavy hitter at 91 proof. That's pretty. That packs a punch. I will say the nose. I'm not gonna say it's off-putting, but it is very much. It smells like you're walking down by the sea.
It kind of smells like, you ever pick up one of those little crabs that burrow in the sand?
Yeah,
it kind of smells like
that. It's briny, that's for sure. But it doesn't. It's not off-putting. It's intriguing to say the least. It's you keep going back to smell it again because you kind of can't really believe.
I just keep going back for seconds.
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
I mean, I really can't believe how much of the sea you smell in this.
No, I'm actually impressed. Like, I really like. There's very few whiskeys where I'm like, oh, it's got the only one I could think of would be like Jefferson's Ocean, where but that thing sits in a hull of a boat.
Yeah,
for a year.
That's as on the water as you can get.
But that's the only other one where I've actually smelled like seawater. Is this one? Rightfully named too.
Yeah. So they use some recharred ex-bourbon casks in this as well, which again, that's going to add to a little bit more of that smoky and oaky flavor. I really kind of just hate this catchphrase now. I could say it unintentionally way too much. And it is, of course, a Diageo import. Diageo is a very large importer.
And if you're in our side of the industry, Diageo is a big name. They do a lot of big things, and it's huge.
Yes, it's very, very huge.
But I think you need another glass. I don't think you're going to finish this fast enough to do the comparison.
Oh, no, because I enjoy this very much.
Since we're doing island scotches, it would not be fair to find a scotch that was on the other side of the spectrum. So where this is like kind of briny, malty, and smoky, and a little bit of peaty. I wanted to find one that was a little more light, citrusy, and tropical. And it's the second biggest distillery in the island region, which would be...
And of course we have a bottle because we have everything.
Voila!
Well, we don't have everything.
Oh no, that's the back of the bottle. Voila! Oh. Alright, so this is Highland Park Magnus. So, if you want to take a look at it...
It's not a white bottle, so it won't wash out.
Yep, you can actually see this really good. But so Highland Park is the second biggest distillery in the islands region of Scotland. Founded in 1798 by Magnus Edson, who is a descendant of the Vikings. It might sound kind of weird that there's a descendant of the Vikings in Scotland. You'd think Norway, but whatever. That's history and facts.
Yes, it'd be like that.
I drink whiskey and I know things. But yeah, basically a lot of his bottles and the bottle art is Viking oriented. Like they literally have Highland Park 12-year Valkyrie edition or Highland Park 12-year Viking editions. But yeah, they always have they either have or they have some sort of Viking or Norwegian artwork on their bottles. But this one's great because of the price point. So this is a single malt Scotch, but it's going between in New Jersey. Wherever else you are, it might be different, but in New Jersey, it's between 40 and 45 on your shelf. And for a single malt, I don't think you're not paying really any less than between 55 and 60 for a good single malt.
Again, in Jersey, this one's between 70 and 80. I mean, I would say that's more on the higher end.
Yeah. So, but
I consider that to be on the high. It's definitely not budget. It's definitely not mid tier. 70, 80, you're starting to get into that more higher end.
Which where the Talisker is, it's more. It's considered high end.
But the regular one you could find for 40. So if you want to get something that's going to be similar to this, but not the same thing, and you want to save $40, buy the regular Talisker.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Highland Park,
phenomenal as well.
It's another household name. It's from the Orkney Islands, which is the Orkney Islands are northern part of the islands region, so northwest Scotland. And once again, you kind of get some of that sea influence. Like this one, the nose is very dumbed down and very subtle, but you do get a little bit of salt, but it's mostly citrus and lemongrass to me. It's not smoky. It's not overbearing. It's easy on the palate. So once again, like,
Wow.
if you want to be introduced to Scotch, this is not a bad place to start.
Let's just. I'm gonna pour more of this.
You want to compare the
I want to
the color,
yeah.
because like this is like almost.
Yeah. And I can just compare it in the bottle, but I'm pouring more because
Like,
I'm gonna enjoy more.
I don't know. It just sucks because like the camera doesn't do this any justice, but like the color isn't that far off.
Not
on these.
super far off, but
So hold them up. Let's see what we got.
there
Here.
is a difference.
So this one's like.
This is a lot.
See, like
lighter.
that's your pee if it's dehydrated. This is your pee if you drink a lot of water.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Trying to get this so you can see it. Unfortunately, we have a mirrored background, so this doesn't work. But you could tell that this Highland is definitely lighter than the Talisker. So I am expecting.
Dude, this thing always just tastes like Starburst to me. Like it's super.
Starburst.
It's dude, it's super tropical and super fruity. Like you ever get like the one Starburst package nobody ever likes, not sponsored by Starburst, but is like that tropical one with just like the yellow, the pink, and like the red in it. I'm like, I like that one, but that's what this tastes like. It tastes like really tropical, like a really tropical citrusy Scotch. It's like it's very cool.
I can already tell how much lighter this is just on the nose alone. This
and I should
this coats the inside of your nose.
And this is 80 proof.
Can't
So
even smell it.
it's 80 proof, so you're not gonna get crazy amount of flavor.
Smell the Talisker and then smell this. You can't even smell this after smelling Talisker.
No, it literally smells. I literally smell water.
Yeah. You can't even smell
Alright,
it.
so
So
let's-
this is gonna be a lot later.
So you take a sip, and then we're gonna add some water.
Hell of wow. That actually is sweet and citrusy.
Dude, right? It's like little sugar.
Wow.
It's like tropical. It's like it's like a tropical explosion in your mouth.
Ooh, whoa. That back end though.
Wait, it's another
I get,
one. These are young blends again. That's why it's cheaper too, because they're all like. Where this has like some 25-year blends in it, this does not have that in
Yeah.
here. This is
But I get a
overall.
little roasted coffee essence on the back end of this.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's like
I got like real
It's
like
like,
down in here is where I tasted that. As I was exhaling, all of a sudden just roasted black coffee came out.
the water changes it a lot. So that fruity flavor kind of goes away, and it becomes just a little more of like that like roasty and toast like maybe like toasted barrel flavor. Like they used a toasted oak barrel, which odds are they might have.
Yeah.
You do get all right. Tell me if you smell a little bit of salt now that he added water though. I get a little salt now.
Yeah. The brine definitely comes out
Right?
more.
That's kind of cool.
And
All right, so we're gonna add this guy.
the profile changes. It does go from light and citrusy to a bit more.
I like it without the water better.
I do too, but we already know I like most of mine without the water. Even without the water, though, as sweet and citrusy as it is up front, that back end, I'm talking deep in your throat, like right where your jugular. I know, right? Deep throat and whiskey. Right around here, once you exhale, it was just pure roasted coffee that came to mind. I mean,
Yeah.
that was incredible.
But
How you could get, because usually roasted coffee, that's indicative of something that's
usually bourbon.
heavy.
Again.
Yeah,
I usually get
bourbon,
that from like
something
really
dark, not light and citrusy.
I usually get that from like barrel proof or cask strength
Yeah,
bourbons.
something heavy.
That's kind of, but not
So-
Scotch ever from Scotch. So
No, especially something so light like that. That's
yeah. So all right. So if you want to read the back of the bottle and cheat and not actually do like your like do the homework with your mouth and like taste the whiskey, unapologetically bold, smoky, and undeniably Orcadian. I don't know what Orcadian means. This single malt bears the soul of our Viking ancestors and the name of just one, our founder, Magnus Ennison.
Magnus.
Enjoy
That's a
whiskey
hell of a
crafted in the
name.
old way by the generation of Vikings. Skull!
Now I gotta say,
It's good, right?
it's good,
It's solid.
but I completely disagree with this entire synopsis.
No, I don't get that. I don't get...
Unapologetically bold? No. I think
No
this
smoke.
is really tame. I think this is
It's light.
really, really light bodied.
There's no
This
smoke.
is good. This would have been a good one to feature also.
On the
for if you're
beginner
just
ship.
getting,
I
yeah.
thought about it, but like
This
it's
is good.
It's an island scotch, and I want to do more of like a space side. Because space side literally is like a
Yeah.
lunch. It's like they call it lunchtime scotches just because
But
they're like
this-
sessionable.
This drink's super smooth. The smokiness, again, I didn't get anything to the very back, and it wasn't even smoke. It was more roasted nut, roasted
Yeah.
coffee. Undeniably Orcadian. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna Google
I don't
Orcadian
even
when
know
this is
what
done.
Orcadian
Actually,
is.
maybe I'll put the definition of Orcadian in like the
Yeah,
video,
that'd be a
like
good idea.
somewhere in this area.
Maybe I'm just not educated enough, but
educated.
I've never had to use the word Orcadian. I
Goddamn, I
don't
dropped down
really
to
know what that means.
I dropped down in 6th grade to help my pappy fix a tractor.
The single malt bears the soul of Viking. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there is Viking soul in here. I can't go much in detail.
Well, he makes it, so yeah, it's got to be soul of a Viking. But I think we've kind of...
But as far as unapologetically bold and smoky, I wouldn't... If you're a beginner, don't read that and be off-put.
I think
try it.
I would try it. I
would definitely
if you
try
haven't
it.
like really gotten a scotch, I would try this.
I
personally.
think the back definitely is more intimidating than what it actually drinks.
But I think we've kind of beaten this horse to death. Beaten this horse to death. I think we've said everything we need to say about these whiskeys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We tried to kind of bring it back to basics here and just feature 1 or 2 bottles to kind of simplify it.
Simple episode.
But as we say at the end of every episode, we want you to like this video. Please share it to everyone that you know, whether you like it or not. Please comment on the video if you have anything you want to add, anything you want us to try, anything you want us to review.
We did get one of our first comments the other day, and as promised, we did respond. So please.
We got our first dislike too.
And our first dislike.
I'm okay with that. Dislikes are good. It means there's an opinion that's other than ours.
But to the gentleman who disliked it and explained why he disliked it,
that's great. That's awesome.
It is, and we apologize. We should have featured Canadian. You were right. You know, that is another category of bourbon as far as
category of whiskey. You can't say bourbon.
Whiskey.
Can't say
correct.
Can't say whiskey, eh?
So we actually will do a full Canadian episode. We are going to do a full Japanese episode. We kind of wanted to take the Canada, Japan, some of those smaller.
We want to do like whiskey around the world
areas.
type deal. Like,
we want to give them their own episodes. We just kind of figured, Irish is so huge,
Scotch is huge,
Scotch
and
is huge, and
bourbon's
bourbon's
That was the thought
That
process
was-
behind it.
Exactly.
But regardless,
You will see Canadian on here. Don't worry. Canadian, Japanese, whatever. Oh, I want to do.
Lebanese.
Actually, you know what? I think instead of Japanese, we should do a whole Asian because I want to get the Emeralds. I want to do
Emeralds? What is
Emerald. That's Indian whiskey.
Oh yeah, I tried it. It's the John Paul.
Yeah.
The John Paul whiskey. Yeah, I can get that from the whiskey store.
Oh, I got it. The whiskey store.
Yeah, I can get it from the whiskey store.
But yeah, I want to do. So we'll do a full Asia. We'll do Canada. We'll get to.
We'll go around the world with you guys. All right, we'll take you guys around the
definitely
world.
will.
We're like fucking.
Because I myself want to go around the world. I want to try. I love trying different whiskeys from different areas. I think it's cool.
This show's gonna be like fucking Epcot. You can go everywhere in one place. But as we always say at the end of the episode, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and comment. You guys have a great week. Stay safe in this pandemic, and we will see you next week.
Take care, guys. Cheers.